Hi guys, we are back. I'm Crystal Hurley. This is part 2 of my 3-parter face video. The part that I posted earlier showed you how to get this eye. Now I'm going to show you how to do this face. I know I look a mess, but please know it's part of the process, okay? So part 2 for the face. What we are going to use first is my Younique Touch Mineral Foundation Serum. I call it a serum because it is. And this is in Cypress, which is my skin coloring. And from what I have heard from corporate, they are working on some darker hues because they have realized that we come in all different shades, honey. And so they need to be able to cover that whole gamut for all of us. One of my favorite little brushes to use to put on my foundation. Now, there are tons of different foundation brushes. I'm not even going to waste my time doing that. I'll do another video with you guys so that you guys can see different foundation brushes. But this one is an e.l.f. powder brush, and I got it from Target. I already shook up my product. I'm going to put several drops on here because this is, again, this isn't your regular everyday, oh, I think I'll go run some errands face. No, this is your beat down face, okay? So I'm going to layer where I need to layer, okay? So there's a difference between just swiping your foundation on and buffing and stippling, okay? Stippling is when you do things like this. Now, I am going to stipple, which basically means to press the product into my skin where I need it most. Women of color, we have, like, you see how I was darker right in there? And then, oh, I'm not even gonna get into that. Right along here, I'm darker because it's a pigmentation or marking, whatever kind of issues you have like that. So I'm gonna stipple that area in versus if I were to just brush it on right in here. See, brushing, I'm still getting coverage, but here it's going to be more, the fortified is going, the color is going to be more fortified in those areas where I do this. Up underneath the neck, push it down. And another way that I contour, beginning stage of contouring my nose, earlier in part 1 of this video, you saw where I took Perbote, blended it here, and then brought it down along my nose. Now I'm taking my foundation brush and sweeping that color just along the sides. Because the highlight of that is this color, my concealer in, what is this, satin, right in here, okay? Right on the side, underneath the eye. Okay, so here's the thing as I'm working on this. There are several ways of doing makeup, okay? Of doing your makeup. You have to do what works for you. I have found that this order of operation works for me, okay? I used to apply my concealer, because I use my concealer to do my highlighting. I used to do that first on bare skin and then go into the areas that I did not place it. And this will make more sense to you in a minute. Go into the areas that I didn't place the highlight color, and I would place my foundation color. Now I have found that it lasts longer when I lay down my foundation. And you also want to get the little size. I have ADD, honey. Y'all need to just work with me. Move into the ears a little bit. I have found that it lasts longer if I place down foundation first and then put my highlight color on top of it. The other way worked for me for a little bit. It working for me right now. Okay, I only need a few drops because the bulk of my face, so that's 4 drops. Okay, I'm going to press in this area until I get ready to blend, because y'all thought I was looking a hot mess, right? Though, but this, look at that, is going to give you a fantastic highlight right in there. See? I know my mom's cracking up at me. Anyhow, you kind of just want this area to look like someone took, you know how when you're at a nice romantic candlelight dinner with your love, and the candlelight just makes you look so like, bam, like the light hits you just where it needs to go. When you do your makeup like this, it makes you look like that 24/7. Some people may think it's a dated look. It might be a dated look, but this dated look works for me. And when I see it, I think it looks so pretty. I just think it looks fantastic, okay? So that for me is right there. Now, again, I told you that before I used to put it on bare skin. Basically how I did this, you can see part 1 to see what I'm talking about in here. I used to do this same thing under the eye, but I found that it works better for me to just leave it like that and then work in layers with the foundation and then my concealer to highlight under my eye. I'm gonna show you that in 1 second, but I just had to show you this. Okay, under the eye, in the hairline, down the neck, coverage. And it has moved, our foundation is so amazing. It's a liquid to powder. That's why you don't see anything left on my brush, but there's product on my face. So I am still able to move and manipulate the product that is there. Okay, and I don't even need to really concentrate under the eye, but and 2, doing it this way, putting the product under my eye now, as opposed to just using the concealer only and using that to highlight, it is giving me more coverage. And let's face it, mama ain't nobody 20 nothing no more. So I need some more coverage. And those dark little areas are gone. Okay. Down the neck. Now I'm mostly blending and making sure my product is dry, because remember what I told you, eventually we're going to set this, and there's nothing worse than setting on top of something that is not dry. That's where you're going to get the lines, the creasing, the product moving, and it just is not going to look the way you're going to want it to look. And once that's set like that, you can't blend that out. So it's best to make it, pat it out, dry it. But look at that. Honey, my skin was looking a mess. These kids have me tired. I'm sleepy. Do you see those bags? I am sleepy. Okay, enough. Screw that top back on. Okay, now I'm gonna go back in with my concealer. Is this the right one? Because I have 2 right here. This is Charmeuse, and I could rock with this, but I wanted to show you. Oh, here we go. This is Satin. It's lighter than Charmeuse. Charmeuse is 1 step above even the liquid foundation colors. The names mimic each other. That way, for those of you that don't want to highlight contour with it, you just want to conceal, you can match the foundation color with the concealer color. So Charmeuse is the concealer color. If you're looking at foundations, for those of you who need to be getting up on this liquid foundation right here, the next color up, if you're lighter than me and it covers you, I would say like 1 degree up and down, the next color for you would be Charmeuse. Okay, all right, we're gonna take just a little bit more of this concealer in Satin. Okay, and I just use a little bit. This concealer is so opaque. A little goes a long way. And remember, I still had some on my blender. So I'm going to work this product in right here. And remember, I told you I'm going to look crazy. And then you're going to see, oh, okay, I see where she was going with that. So please bear with me because I'm about to look a hot mess right now. Okay. So I'm going to take your blender. Remember, you worked it in so that it could be warm. And let's start with this side. I like to bring my point right into there because like I told you before with women of color, all women, we have dark, I don't know what that is. Is it the veins over there or I don't know. But right in those inner corners, it is darker. I think it's because the skin is so much thinner there. It ages you. You gotta put some kind of concealer there. So I put that there. And here's the mistake that women make when they do the concealer. They do this. That's not it. You need to move it, and I'm gonna tell you why. So I put mine right into there. I bring it down and up. It's gonna mess up my wing, but that's okay. There's more eyeliner. But let's get this face right. This gives you the look of lifting that eye up. Because I'm not ready for a facelift yet. It may come, but I'm not ready yet. So this is gonna hook me up until it's time, okay? So you're just gonna bring it up and kind of like a half moon, I guess you would say, right up in there, following that cheekbone. And your shape might be a little bit different. If you have smaller cheeks, it may not be this whole space. It might be here and then like just up in here. In here. The point is you do want to bring it up. You don't want to just have a triangle right here. You need to bring it up. This is going to lift the eye. Look at the difference between this eye and this eye. This side of my face just looks lifted and sculpted, okay? And what I'm doing right now is just blending. I'm going to turn it this way because I don't have any product over here. And I'm just blending. Highlight, okay? I'll take some more product. I might need to add just a touch more. Is this the right one? Satin. I'm literally going to add that much more. That might be too much. That might be too much, but that's all right. Warm it up so it's malleable. Okay. Bring it up under the eye and up, down. And you're just, right now you're blending it. And I know this looks like, oh my God, that looks like, whoa, you look scary, girl. But trust me, we have not even set it yet. Setting it is what's gonna make it look, oh, that crystal. Okay, so just bring it up to there, to the temple, and bring it down the cheekbone. I have seen, there's this one girl on Instagram, I can't even remember what her name is, but she is gorgeous. And she was sitting by candlelight, but she had her highlight done. And hers kind of went right to here. This is where she ended hers. So, and she had a slimmer face and smaller cheekbone area. So that might be where some of you need to concentrate your highlight like that, okay? And I go there, but who knows if I'm gonna cover it up with makeup, okay? This is already done, but I'm just gonna refresh it. You see how that line is leaving me? Uplift. I done already told y'all about that uplift, but that line, you see the line right there, but it is leaving me. And I'm gonna just refresh this up in here. want that spotlight look, baby. Okay, and that's it. Now we're going to let that dry, get into the skin, and do what it's going to do for a second. I'm going to just wipe the rest of this off. There wasn't much to wipe off. Okay. This same brush that I used to put my foundation on, I am now going to set. Now, you know what? You see a lot of people, because I am going to bake this highlight in a second. Oh, and I could do this part right here, because people do that. And then they do that. I sometimes do it. I don't even have makeup right there. Highlight. Basically, wherever things jut out, you want to highlight it a little bit further. Okay, now, we will talk about baking your highlight in a second. I bake my face, my foundation, and I bake it with my Touch Mineral pressed powder foundation, okay? It's not foundation, it's just a pressed powder, but this stuff right here, for those of you still using this Studio Fix, I used to love this. There's nothing wrong with it except sometimes it clogs your pores. Yes, I have reached pan because I loved this stuff, okay? And I do sometimes use it not for my, not really on my face, but sometimes I use it in my contour area from time to time, but I really haven't touched this in a long time. This right here is in Cypress, so it matches my foundation. This stuff right here is amazing. And for those of you who don't care to use liquid foundation, but like to use a powder foundation, please get into this. Try it. You can return it. Younique gives you 14 days to try it, love it, and return it if you do not, but you will, okay? But back to the video. I take my brush, I swirl and tap, get a whole lot in, and then I stipple, okay? All those areas that look how pretty that is. It's so pretty, guys. It's so pretty. All the areas that had the foundation on it, it just makes your skin look alive, but not, and it doesn't do that thing that what is this stuff called? Studio Fix does when you're photographed and it does that ghostly thing, like you a crackhead. It doesn't do that. But look at that. The color is so pretty. So I'm putting a whole lot on my brush because what I'm doing is what they call baking. Now that term came from our gay boyfriends, okay? Because it's like you're gonna let it sit. You're putting a little bit more product than you normally would on, which is why I'm gently pressing it and laying it on there, that later I'm going to brush it off. I want a lot of product on there, okay? And I'm letting it bake. So you're just gonna let it sit for a little while, okay? Then, I don't have really on here, but maybe I'll run the edge. Let me show y'all what I really do. I have another little brush. I have a million brushes. You guys don't even want to see this. This brush I got from Sephora. It's an all-over eyeshadow fluffy brush. I use it for this. So I'm going to run it here, and I'm going to run it along that provoked that I did, because I want to set that contour. I'm still going to put something else on there, but it's going to be a powder, not a cream, okay? And you don't ever want to go back over your face with a powder if you've already set it. Okay, that's not making any sense. If you've already set your face with a powder, you don't want to go back over it with a cream, okay? So if I'm going to mess with this contour anymore, I'm only going to use powder products, not a cream. Is that right? Because I don't want to look like I broke my nose. What are those? Owen Wilson, his brother Luke? No, it's Owen One of them with the nose. I don't want to look like that. And this isn't going to stay like this, but I'm baking it, okay? My nose is lighter than the rest of my face, so my face would look like that too. Okay, so I'm going to let that sit. While that's sitting, let's bake our highlight. For that, this is not a Younique product, okay? We don't have a product like this just yet. I suppose I could use a Mineral Touch foundation in the color that matches this, what is this, satin. But my favorite product right here is the Benai banana powder. I know you guys have seen many YouTube makeup artists use it because it works. It's from the stage. You know I'm from the stage. It works. Another product you can get at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens is the Something Spun. It's called Something Spun. It's the Cote Spun. I don't know. You'll see it. It says Spun if you go there. And then for those of you high-end darlings, Laura Mercier makes a really good product for just what I'm about to do. So it has a little sifting top. I'm going to put a little, put some on the top. This is just why I lay on a towel. Okay, so now I'm going to take a brush. This is my, I love this brush. This is my Sigma Tapered Kabuki. It's the F86. Sigma makes some sexy brushes. Just gotta say. All right, you're gonna take some powder, dust it off. Remember, you're going to put a lot of this on. Not a whole lot, but a lot, okay? And you're going to dab. Everywhere you put that concealer, your highlight, you want to put this. It's going to set it. Your highlight is going to stay all day. Now, this is the banana powder. The color is called banana. This is just the Benai luxury powder. There's a step of, there are different colors of this. I'm a darker skinned woman, but I have yellow undertones, which is why I use the banana powder. I think the color above, below this is called sable. And for some of you and my sisters that are even darker than myself, you might want to use that. But but if you have yellow undertones, the banana is the way to go. Trust me, I'm not gonna make you look a fool. Okay, so you're just pressing this everywhere that you put. This video is long. Everywhere that you put the concealer. Remember, I put concealer up here. I'm pressing it into my skin because I want a lot. I want enough of it that it's going to bake it. We baking, baby. Dryer's done. Okay, could probably stand a little bit. Okay, you don't need as much for your nose. There's this YouTube lady when I first started watching YouTube for makeup, and I cannot remember her name. I'm gonna find her name, but she taught me how to do the contour, and she called this the tree of life. Okay, it kind of looks like an upside look at a tree, and this is the trunk. So we're gonna follow. Her name is, dang it, I can't think, something with an M. Anyway, this. You want to go ahead and bake your tree of life. That gorgeous tree. Okay, right here and right here. You can just dab those areas. I really honestly don't always do that. Sometimes I do and I'm like, I could have done it or I could not have done it. Okay, so you're going to let that sit. Remember how I told you that I don't do my eyeliner, and I said this in video 1. I don't do my eyeliner until after I've done this part. Now is when you want to go in with this part. So I'm going to take my liner in Perfect. It needs to be, no, it's good. And I feel more comfortable doing this because I have this powder here on my face. I'm not worried about touching the makeup that's on my face, and I'm going to leave a fingerprint or something, okay? So now I can do this. If you really are worried, then you can take a paper, no, don't take a paper towel. Take like a tissue or something and place it right on your face. That's what the makeup artists do. I don't care because I know it's not going to move. So now I'm going to go ahead and line my eye. For some of my girlfriends, you might want to try, instead of using Perfect, because that's what liner this is, you probably want to use this, and I might still go in with this even. This is our brown color that is called Proper, okay? So you might want to go in. I'm probably still going to use this, okay? So I'm going to line it. I could have sharpened this a little bit. And I'm going to meet the end of that wing that I'm clearly going to have to redo. Okay, other eye. See how I didn't really disturb it? It is so hard doing makeup in this camera. Because then you jack up. Look, I got droopy eye. We're going to fix that droopy eye. I'm going over that because I messed it up. Cleopatra. Okay, I don't know where the top is right here. I'm gonna put a little bit more brown under here. I just have been digging the way that looks. This brown is really great. And I didn't think that browns were gonna be great on my dark African American skin. But I do enjoy it. It looks really pretty. I'm just going to take this angled brush right here. This is a Sephora brush. It's a slanted eyeshadow brush. It has no number. And I'm going to try to clean this up a little bit. I might have to make this a real dramatic smoky eye all of a sudden. Because I don't know if I can fix that. And now I'm just blending that brown into the black. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, now I'm going to take this brush. It is a no-name brush. I got it off of the internet. Excuse me, guys. I got it off of the internet on a site called Wish or something cute. I don't know. But it's decent. It's supposed to be like a Sigma brush. All right, so what I'm going to do now is two things. One, I'm going to use this bronzer after I have brushed off that because I think it has set enough, okay? About this bronzer, while I let this set just a little bit more, it has two sides. One side, this is Malibu, basically. There's three different Malibu. There's three different colors: Sunset, Malibu, and Hermosa. Malibu being for those of us that are olive and darker pigmented. If you're lighter, Sunset is for you and Hermosa is for those of you in the middle, okay? There's the shiny part and then there's this dull part. The dull part is what I use after I have brushed this off. And I'm gonna show you what I'm doing, okay? So now I'm just gonna brush off all of the powder in my tree of life. Right there and right there. I'm just gonna brush it off. Oh, don't sing Taylor Swift. Okay. Now, I'm gonna go in with my Beachfront bronzer and I'm just going to press the product on. where I have my highlight. And again, I'm doing the matte side. In my Tree of Life. Now you see how crazy it looked before, but now it's like bringing the color back in. It's not ghost-like. My name is not ghostly. Okay, so we're just